Presh, and I'm back with another video. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button so you never miss a video when I do upload. And don't forget to share my videos wherever with whoever so they know you rocks with your girl, though. Shout out to my 22 subscribers. Mwah. I love y'all. Please know that the appreciation and the love that I have for y'all, it is deep, honey. I love y'all because y'all love me. If you are new here, hi, hello, and welcome. If you've been here before, what it do, baby boo? Because I don't think I said that in my last video. Y'all already know. When y'all see me in the same thing in more than one video, these videos is getting filmed big to big. So without further ado, let's get to day 12 of Vlogmas. This is a What You Watching Vlogmas review on the movie Sappy Christmas. This is a movie that I watched last night. And so it's a Christmas movie about this sous chef named Joy Johnson, JJ, who is in competition with her fellow sous chef at the little restaurant she work at. And so they're both vying to be like the executive chef, which is like a step above a sous chef, but it's like right under the head chef, I believe. Don't get me lying, girl. I don't know. But anyway, so they both cooked this meal for this very popular vlogger. And you know, her reviews or whatever, because she's real popular, make or break businesses and things like that. So Joy cooks scallops, and whoever her competition is, I don't care to know his name, he wound up cooking risotto or something or another. And so the blogger, of course, she give her little review, and she basically said that she didn't care for the restaurant, but the scallops was lit, or whatever the case may be. So her boyfriend Gabe, he a doctor. He come from a raggedy wig wearing mammy. I don't care for his mama. We're gonna get into it. But anyway, so her boyfriend Gabe, he a doctor. Yeah, he an anesthesiologist. So he decided to go ahead and call her boss and say, hey, I'm need you to give her 8 days off or whatever. And so she like, excuse you? Why would you call my boss and do that when you know I'm in the middle of a competition to become the executive chef? He was like, it's okay or whatever, you know. She was like, well, I do have to work tomorrow, and then, you know, I'll come down there. So instead of him getting him and her tickets to fly to go see his mama and them, he was like, you could drive my car. Sir, excuse you? Why the fuck we can't drive down there together? But it was because he had to woo some people or fundraising people or some shit for his mammy re-election campaign, because she was running for mayor or whatever the fuck they lived there. I think somewhere in New York. So she go to work or whatever, and when she get to work, she tells her boss, whatever his name was, that she think they should do like a Christmas themed menu, right? And so after he finished signing for whatever, he basically gives us the fever like, look, I understand, you know, your little risotto was cute, I mean, your little scallops was lit, but Shorty still gave us a bad review at the end of the day. And she was like, okay. So then, mind you, little competition gonna come out there and gonna say the exact same thing Joy said. And he was like, yeah, we could do that. And I was like, okay, I see the bullshit here. He racist and he motherfucking misogynistic. Ain't nobody got time for that. Joy girl, go on quit, because we don't need to be around here when motherfuckers is playing in our face. So then we see Joy daddy, whoever that man was. I forgot what his name was. I think his name was Neil. So the daddy was around there. Her and the daddy was talking about her mama or some shit. They was reminiscing. The conversation wasn't important. So of course after that she go home. She get herself together. Oh, she wound up finding an engagement ring in Gabe's luggage when she was helping him pack his luggage, and that put Shorty, you know, gave her nerves. So she go home, get herself dressed. So she go up here to drive around there to go see Gabe, them people. So she driving it. So mind you, she pack her bags, get it in the car. She called Gabe aggravating ass, and she like, hey, he like, did you leave yet? And she was like, no, I'm getting ready to leave. He was like, all right, well, get here as fast as you can because it's a storm coming. She was like, okay, it ain't nothing but a little snow. Like, all right. So, man, you should get to driving or whatever. And as she driving, she wound up swerving. I think, is it called hydroplaning? I don't drive. I don't own a car, y'all. Y'all tell me what it is when you driving in the car. Swerve off and hit like a snowbank. Y'all let me know. Is that called hydroplaning or is that when the car just starts sliding? Y'all tell me. I don't know. Again, I ain't no goddamn car. I don't drive. So she wound up hitting a snowbank. Mind you, her duck ass is in heels. She get out the car to try to figure out what's going on. Almost slip, fall, bust all her forehead open to the white meat. So she called Gabe egg ass, and she was like, he was like, you all right? Where you at? Well, he didn't say that. He was like, where you at? And she was like, I hit a snowbank. And he was like, and what about the car? She was like, oh, and I'm fine. He was like, well, I'm pretty sure you fine or you wouldn't be calling me. And I was just like, oh, this what we doing? Like, he called her with all the attitude, and I'm like, sir, he answered that phone with too much attitude for me. So she was like, so what I'm gonna do? He was like, I guess you're gonna have to call a tow truck or something to come get you. She was like, you can't come get me? He was like, no, I got somewhere to be, and it's gonna take me too long to try to get to you in all this weather. Excuse the fuck out of you. So she hung up the phone with his egg ass. And then she goes sit back in the car. And then we get James. He come driving along in his truck. And so she got out the car to flag him down. And so when he get out to help her, she almost slip and fall again. And almost bust all her forehead open. So he like, girl, what is you doing out here? And she was like, with a car, at the snowbank. And she was like, can you help me get it out? He was like, yeah, I'll try and help you. So he tried to, and he was like, did you turn the wheels? And she was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, that engine did. It's busted all up. And she was like, well, can you at least like call a tow truck or something? And he was like, yeah, Charlie, he done closed up his shop for the day. She was like, well, is it a hotel or something I could get to? And he was like, girl, that's in the next town over. And that's like 3 hours from here. And she was like, well, I'll be damned. And he was like, if you want, I could take you back to my house until the morning and we could, call Charlie to come get it. And she was like, how I know you ain't a serial killer? So mind you, the little walkie-talkie in his pocket started going off. And so it's his mom. And she's like, where you at? You all right? And he's like, yeah, Mom. I just ran up on this lady and, her car's stuck or whatever the case may be. And the mom was like, well, tell her to bring her ass on around here to this house because before it get cold and she freezes to death out there. And he was like, okay. He was like, so you coming? She was like, well, how I know your mama ain't in on it? And he was looking at her like, girl, really? So she go ahead. And she was like, well, I don't even know your name. He was like, well, I'm James Lewis from the Lewis Sap Farm. And you are? She was like, I'm Joy Johnson. He was like, JJ. She was like, Joy. I'm Joy. He was like, girl, come on. So he help her get her stuff. Again, she almost fell. And they get in the car and they get to talking or whatever the case may be. And she gets to the house. And she's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. So you get in the house and we meet the family. Oh, mind you, his brother, as soon as his brother got around there to the house before Joy got there, the brother kept trying to pressure him to sell the farm because he was like, baby, y'all ain't making enough money around here to stay afloat. Mind you, his niece and nephew, Riley, she'll sweet somebody. His nephew, Dylan, he be in his own little world ignoring them. The sister-in-law, Rebecca, she'll sweetheart, but I swear it look like she gonna have a nervous breakdown because their brother is worrisome. He is worrisome. The mama is sweet as she could be. So they get Joy around there, and, he like, everybody, this is JJ. She was like, my name is Joy Johnson. Everybody was like, hey, girl, how you doing? And, I was like, come on. She was like, well, I just want to go lay down. And the mom was like, okay, I could get you, something to lay down in or whatever. So she say hey to everybody, and she go lay down. She go to bed. The next morning, she get up, and she get herself together. And I believe she called that egg-ass boyfriend of hers, who was bothering me because he wasn't calling on her and checking on her. Like, she is with a bunch of strangers, sir, and you ain't called to check on her not once. So she called him to let him know she could go and check on the car. And he was like, okay, well, hopefully you can get down here because we got to go to lunch. You didn't call her, see if she was okay. First thing you say out your mouth when she called you is, well, hurry up and get down here because we got to go to lunch. Because my mama didn't book lunch at this fancy hotel. Anybody tell your mama to book no goddamn lunch? Anybody say nothing about that? So, James, I'm going to call him, I hate to do it, but Jamie. Jamie and Joy, they go around there to Charlie's shop, and Charlie was like, yeah. She was like, so did we get the car fixed? Charlie was like, baby, I gotta order the part, and Lord knows when it'll come because it's the holidays, so you just gotta chill out for a minute till I call you and let you know this bitch is ready. She was like, oh, okay. And Jamie was like, well, you come on back to the house and get you some pancakes. And she's like, okay. So she get back to the house, and Mama was like, you all right? And she was like, well, I gotta wait a little while. And she was like, you got any more pancakes? And I was like, yes. And they go ahead and make some pancakes or whatever. So Jamie was like, well, I gotta go check on the sap of the trees or whatever and do a whole bunch of farm work. And he asked his nephew Dylan to go, because everybody was talking sideways to poor little Dylan. And Dylan was like, no, I'm fine right where I'm at. And so Joy was like, well, I'll do it. And he was like, I mean, it's a whole lot of stuff to do, and I don't think you dressed for it. And the mama said, we got extra clothes she could put on. Don't do Joy like that. So Joy, she get dressed in a cute little winter outfit, and she go outside, and they walking down a little trail. And, they tapping on the sap trees, and, he giving her the history about how the sap and stuff work, and, how he worried about his nephew, and how, he don't really interact with the family like that, and how, his brother too busy with all his financial works and stuff. And, his niece Riley, she a little too energetic, and she gets sidetracked to actually be helpful. Or whatever. And she was like, well, all you gotta do when it comes to your nephew is find out what he's actually interested in, what he's passionate about. So, when they get back to the crib or whatever, he was like, yeah, I didn't, that took all day or whatever. She was like, I actually had fun or whatever. He was like, I didn't expect you to be able to get down and actually do manual labor. And she was like, why? And he was like, because of the way you was dressed when I found you. And she was like, and how was that? He was like, hoity-toity. She was like, I don't know if that's the real words, but I don't really dress like that, honey. I'm a whole chef. Like, it ain't like that. He was like, where you live at anyway? She was like, in New York. I think he asked her that when he found her. But whatever. So then she was like, do you think your mama would mind if I cooked y'all some dinner as a thank you for taking me in? He was like, no, I don't think my mama would mind. So, she see her in the kitchen. She prepping dinner, and Dylan walking. So she was like, Dylan, can you reach me the carrots out the refrigerator? And Dylan reaching the carrots, and, he's standing there, he see what she doing. And she said, you ever whisk before? And he was like, I seen it on cooking shows. She was like, oh, okay. Do you mind whisking that for me? And he was like, sure. So Dylan got the whisking stuff, and she got the talking about other food stuff she was cooking, and she was like, you want to help me? You want to be my sous chef? And he was like, sure. And boom, we realized Dylan liked to cook. So she done made a maple glazed salmon with some maple carrots and some other shit. And Dylan helped. And everybody was like, oh, good job, Dylan. Dylan was excited and proud of himself. So they sat there and ate. Everybody was like, oh, it looks so good and it smelled good. So they ate the food or whatever the case may be. So mind you, after dinner, that aggravating ass boyfriend Gabe called her like, I thought you was gonna keep me posted. Sir, it is nighttime. You ain't think to call her all goddamn day? It is fucking nighttime. And she was like, oh, well, the car ain't ready. And he was like, oh, so when you think you gonna be here? Because you missed lunch. You didn't think to call her when she missed lunch and didn't show the fuck up to say, hey, where are you now? Mind you, I know this is how the movie was written, but it's attention to details. They could have had him call her when she was in the middle of hanging out with Jamie. and be like, girl, where the fuck is you at? Like, okay. So anyway, um, she was like, I'll keep you up to date on everything that's going on. So, as the days go on, we see her and Jamie getting close, hanging out. She peeping the scene with the family that is tension between David and Jamie. Rebecca feel her in on the fact that, Jamie felt some type of way that David ass went off to college and felt like he left him to deal with the family farm. She had got pregnant and, they live in New York because she was going to be an interior designer, but now she's a stay-at-home mama, life swerve as she called it. And, everybody see that it's a vibe up there. So, Jamie and JJ, they're hanging out again. And, they wind up at his grandpa little shack where he used to make maple syrup and make a maple liqueur and all type of stuff. They sitting there bonding and talking about their dreams and aspirations and how both of them want to make their daddies proud. And everybody feel the vibe. And Jamie basically asked her, so, where your boyfriend at? Have you heard from him? Because my old lady just wouldn't be out nowhere with a bunch of people she don't goddamn know. I came looking for my old lady. And she was like, Gabe is different. And so he was like, so it's his family, the hoity-toity people that you was all dressed up for. And, she's like, yeah. He was like, okay, all right. So, it's this vibe between them, and you can feel it. So, he get ready to almost kiss her. She's like, I got a man. It was like, I thought we was, but she was like, yeah, no, this ain't it. She was like, can you take me to go get my car in the morning? Because, it's ready. Because, Charlie had called her the day before. So, he was like, yeah, I'll take you to go get your car. So, she was packing her stuff the night before. And Riley was like, oh my God, not you leaving. I made a wish for you to be here. You was our saving grace. And Joy was like, girl, what is you talking about? She was like, me and my Uncle Jamie, we done made a wish on the star for, he wished for snow and I wished for somebody to come save the farm. And she was like, baby, that is just a coincidence. And, Riley was like, it just felt nice having somebody here in this big old empty ass house. And Joy was like, girl, how many rooms in this house? And boom, it was like a light bulb went off. And so the next morning, Joy down there telling them how they could turn the farm into a bed and breakfast. The mama lady, she could be around there baking bread and stuff from the maple and maple butter. They could rent them rooms out. Jamie could give tours, all throughout the year where, they making different little creations with the maple syrup. And Jamie giving the tours. Rebecca could decorate the inside of the house or whatever. And everybody was like, okay, this sound lit. And they was like, well, David, what you think? Because, he the financial man. And he was like, yeah, pretty sure I could probably try and get us some loans. Or some pull us, some strings to see what I could do. And so, everybody was like, okay, we going to get this started. So they had like a little soft opening for Christmas Eve. Or Christmas. I think it was Christmas Eve. So, then JJ was like, all right, well, I got to go, y'all. And so she get ready to go, and everybody was like, oh, we're going to miss you, or whatever the case may be. She invited the influencer girl from the beginning of the movie or whatever. And, she, Shorty said she was coming, so after that, they left or whatever. They made her a cute little ornament. She hung it on the tree, and they made a little glitter pine cone or whatever the case may be. So Joy go ahead and leave. And she make her way around there to gave them in their egg-ass parents' house. Mind you, he told that girl to call his mom and daddy Dr. and Mrs. McAllister or Collins or whatever fucking people's name was. Mind you, that mama in that wig was bothering all of my spirits. So she get around there. Mind you, wasn't nobody there to greet her. She basically low-key had to break in his house because their door was unlocked. And I'm like, that's not a good sign. Y'all door unlocked. But this is a movie, so we're going to let it go. Logic goes out the window. So she talking about, hello, anybody home? Hello. Then gay ragged ass pop up like, oh, hey, how you doing? You here now? And she was like, yeah, I made it. So, he helped her. He was like, well, where everybody at? He was like, well, my mom and daddy went down there to do something for her re-election, and my brother went to work. So he bring her upstairs and put her in a little room and You know, she like, oh, we should go outside and play in the snow. And he was like, girl, we're too grown for that. And she was like, just to go play in the snow? He was like, ain't nobody have time for that. And so he was like, well, glad you made it up here, whatever. And then he noticed she had a little glitter on her face. He was like, you got glitter on your face. So she touched it everywhere but where it's at. And instead of him getting, he was like, it's right there, it's right there, it's right there. And she finally get it. He said, oh, good, you got it. He was like, all right, well, just so you know, we're gonna have dinner, which is like a lunch dinner later. So go and get yourself situated and make yourself comfortable. He around there fixing sheets and shit. And as he fixing the sheet, he noticed the pack on. He said, oh, this the culprit with all the glitter. She said, don't give it here. Give it here. He was like, oh, okay. All right, well, you make yourself comfortable. I gotta go do some work. So he disappeared on that girl. So she go downstairs, don't know what to do with herself because this house is so cold and boring. So, you know, she just walking around, idle her time. So she sit on the sofa or whatever, and the door opens. So in walks Gabe's brother and his girlfriend. And she's like, oh, hey, how y'all doing? The brother was like, oh, you must be... She was like, I'm JJ. And it was like, JJ. She was like, Joy. And he was like, oh, hey, how you doing, Joy? She was like, you the entrepreneur extraordinaire. She was like, what? He was like, yeah, that's what my brother said. And the girlfriend was like, yeah, how you doing, girl? She was like, anyway, I gotta go get ready for the Lena thing. And she was like, okay, right, I guess I'm gonna just sit out here by myself again. So finally, sis went ahead and found her some paper and decided to make her some little homemade snow paper things. Now the mama in her raggedy wig and the daddy walked through the door, and the mama walking in, she like, I know you ain't sitting on my sofa with them scissors. And I was like, bitch, this dusty ass, plain ass fabric, gray sofa you can find any and everywhere. Bitch, I can understand if this was a cute sofa. You'd have a reason to have a problem. But this old dusty ass staging home sofa, girl, if you don't sit the fuck down somewhere. So she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And the mom was like, so you Joy, huh? She was like, yeah. She was like, She's all right, well, you know, we got Lena later. And she was like, oh, okay, it's nice to meet you. And the daddy was like, girl, don't mind her in that raggedy wig. She'll warm up to you. And so Joy was like, do y'all need help with the food? And she was like, we got caterers. And Joy was like, you know, I don't mind helping. And it was like, we good. We good. She's like, this dusty bitch. So Joy go ahead and get herself together. Oh, then she was like, yeah, because we having a after party for the event. And it's formal. She was like, Gabe didn't tell you? And she was like, no. She's like, So Joy go upstairs and she get herself together. And then she come downstairs and she was looking real cute. And so she tell Gabe, because the mama was still giving her fever, like she wasn't here for her. And so she was like, Gabe, what the fuck you told your mama them I did? Because, you know, that girl that asked to cook again. And it was like, girl, we fine. And, you know, he basically tried to shush her. And she was like, what did you tell your mama them I did for a living? He was like, I told him you was an entrepreneur. And she was like, is that why your brother said I was an entrepreneur extraordinaire or whatever that shit was your brother said? And then she was like, are you embarrassed by me? And he was like, no. So mind you, they sitting there enjoying themselves. They was like dinner serve or dinner or whatever that bullshit is. And so her phone rang. And he was like, answer it. And she was like, Russell, I think that's the man's name. He could wait. And then Gabe let it slip. He was like, nah, go ahead and answer it. Because after all the favors I done pulled. And she was like, what the fuck did you just say? She was like, did you get me the executive chef position? And he was like, you know, I told him if he gave it to you, I'd just have all the doctors come around there. And she was like, you didn't think I could get the job by myself? Like, how dare you? Or whatever. And he was like, come on, don't make a scene. We finna have dinner. She said, don't you mean dinner? So they go ahead and they go around there. Wasn't shit on them plates. But a little bit of finger food type shit. So he like, I'm, you know, proposing a toast. And she jumped up and everybody looked at her. She was like, I'm sorry, y'all. So she walk out. And then Gabe followed behind her. He like, girl, you all right? And she was like, look, I found the ring. She was like, but just so you know, this ain't it. This ain't working for me. Like, all you want to do is work and be worried about your mama and her re-election in that dust ass wig. And then you was like, I thought it was the right time. And she was like, baby, we've only been dating for a minute, and you thought it was the right time. And then she turned around, she said, the right time for us or for your mama re-election campaign? And he was like, I mean, couldn't it be for both? She was like, this ain't it. It ain't working. He was like, what? This got to do with the people down there on that farm? And she was like, no, this is about me. And the fact that for the first time, I know who the fuck Joy is. And Joy don't want you, baby. So I'm going to go ahead and go get my shit and go. But before I go, I just need to ask you one question. Can I borrow your car? I was like, oh my God. But go ahead, girl. Borrow that car. So the blogger girl show up to the farm with her husband. They come in, they greeted by the mama lady, and Rebecca and them, they like, hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to the Lewis Sapp family bed and breakfast or whatever that shit was called. And they give her her and her husband marshmallow hot chocolate with maple something another, child. And they enjoying themselves. She was like, make yourself at home. And so JJ driving in the car, she called the landline, honey. Now what made me mad was they didn't at least tell a little girl who was playing Riley, you gotta hold that bitch to your face. She's standing there like this. Hello? Yeah. Oh, hey JJ, how you doing? Like, what is you fucking doing? No, you hold it like this. Even if it don't actually work, you hold it up there like, hello? Oh my God, hi JJ, how are you? Really? Okay, I promise I won't say. Like, she holding it like that. Hello? Who was in charge of direction? So after that, she hung up the phone or whatever the case may be. Mind you, Jamie was already in his feelings because he had saw her little ornament that was in the shape of the heart that had her name on it. He was already in his feelings. So, mind you, it's snowing or whatever, and Jamie wound up putting the thing on the fire. He was like, ooh. He was like, tell your grandma something or another. And she was like, oh, I hope JJ can make it. And he was like, make what about JJ? And she was like, ooh, I wasn't supposed to say nothing. And her mom was like, you better tell your uncle. And she was like, JJ said she coming back, but it was supposed to be a surprise. He was like, girl, it's snowing outside. Lord have mercy. So, just like last time, she in that car and she hit that dirt. She run into the thing and she like, oh, shit. So, she get out the car or whatever. Just as she get out the car, Jamie pulling up. And so, she waving at him and she get out the car. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, don't do that, you gonna fall. And she fall. And so he get out the car, he go help her up. And she was like, how did you even know I was here? He was like, Riley told me. He was like, but I told you. I moved heaven and earth to get to my woman. I was like, oh. And then they kiss. So then she go back around there to the house or whatever. And everybody excited to see her. Wait, actually, no. It fast forwards, I think, like a year later. So then we get to a year later. Okay. Oh, they might have went back to the house. I don't know. Then we fast forward a year later. Her daddy show up around there. And, she chilling with everybody. And she's like, oh my God, Dad, hi. And he was like, she actually wound up seeing the Vlogger Girls review. She gave it a thumbs up. So, yeah, like I said, we fast forward a year later. And, she right there living with the Lewis family. And her daddy show up. And he was like, this young man called me. They told me that, you basically saved his family's farm. And so Jamie was like, can I show you something? And Joy was like, okay. So he take her outside to the little shack or whatever. He was like, okay, now open your eyes. And she's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. When did you do this? And he was like, everybody helped, including David. And so he take her in front of the thing and he was like, look. He was like, last year, this time, I wished for a whole bunch of snow. And Riley wished for somebody to come and save my family farm. And you showed up like a miracle. And he was like, ever since the moment I met you, I knew that I wanted you in my life. It's been a joy having you in my life, pun intended, because her name was Joy. And so now he get down on one knee. He was like, Joy, will you marry me? And she was like, yes. And then she was like, that is the sappiest thing anybody has ever done for me. And he was like, well, what do you expect from a maple tree farmer? And I was like, oh, that's cute. And then they kissed and go off. I was like, oh, that's cute. But y'all should at least gave me a win. You know, quick little win. But I give Sappy Christmas a 8. Simply because that mama swig was bothering all of my spirits. Now don't get me wrong, the lady who played the mom was a very gorgeous black older woman. Okay, that lady was beautiful, but that wig had her looking like Cicely Tyson. Okay, that is no shame. Made the Queen Cicely Tyson recipe, but that lady was looking like Cicely Tyson. I didn't care for that chef man at the beginning. It was a cute little movie. To be honest with you, I would have preferred we just would have ran that at the Lewis family farm. That was the good part of that whole fucking movie. Gabe could go to hell. Him, his mama, and that raggedy wig. And the chef man. And his little ugly ass. But anyway, y'all, that movie is free on the YouTube free movies. Also the movie I watched from day 11. Every Day is Christmas. I don't know if I said the title of the movie in the review, but that is also available on the free YouTube movies. So yeah, y'all, that is all. That is it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button so y'all never miss a video when I do upload. And don't forget to share my videos wherever with whoever. Always check the description bar down below where you will find all my other playlists. Don't forget to thumbs up these videos. I love you.